From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
I want voters to be able to vote, and I want their ballots to count.
A new lawsuit by the Republican Party may delay the results of the Senate race even longer.
And 5 Arizona schools win national recognition for high achievement. We hear from these Blue Ribbon Award winners in the nation's capital.
And in the wake of the Southern California shooting that killed 12, we talk to college police teams who prepare for the worst.
Cronkite News starts now.
And welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Samantha Lomibao.
And I'm John Cardinelli. Thank you for joining us. New ballot numbers were just released, updating voters on the highly contested race to replace Senator Jeff Flake's seat between Republican Martha McSally and Democrat Kyrsten Sinema. The nation's eyes are on Arizona as ballots continue to be counted. This comes 2 days after the state's midterm elections, which had record-breaking voter turnout. 1.7 million ballots were cast, 75% of which were mail-in early ballots. The candidates' results have remained very close as more ballots are added to the final count. Former Arizona Green Party candidate Angela Green dropped out of the Senate race a week before the midterms, but her name remained on the ballot. She earned just under 39,000 votes, doubling the percentage difference between McSally and Sinema. The final tally is expected by next Thursday.
The ballots are still being counted. The Republican parties in several counties filed a lawsuit in Maricopa County Superior Court trying to block some mail-in ballots from being counted and asked the judge to stop the count until a hearing could be scheduled. That was denied. Holly Bernstein joins us with the details on the injunction.
When you send in your mail-in ballot, you have to sign the back of the envelope and date it for it to be counted. The main issue in the lawsuit involves what happens when the signature on the back doesn't quite match the signature on record.
The 2014 manual authorizes county recorders to make an effort to contact voters when there's a question about the signature, and it says they can do it as long as time permits. And so my interpretation is that the county recorder can decide what does that mean if time permits. By statute, you have 5 days if you don't have the right ID.
More than 600,000 ballots are still left to be counted. The Republican Party in 4 counties, Maricopa, Yuma, Navajo, and Apache, filed a lawsuit. The county recorders in all 15 counties, as well as Secretary of State Michelle Reagan, are named in the lawsuit. Currently, several counties allow workers to call voters who have signature discrepancies to verify their ballot. Under the law, that's allowed up until Election Day. The lawsuit takes issues with verification after Election Day. The filing asks the Maricopa County Superior Court to require all county recorders to enforce an equivalent deadline to ensure that Arizona voters across the state receive an equal opportunity to vote in the November 6, 2018 general election. Arizona Republican Party Chairman Jonathan Lines issued this statement, which reads in part, "A foundational principle of American democracy and our justice system is that all votes are treated equally. It is not fair nor just that voters in one county are treated differently under the law from other voters in Arizona. We stand behind our local county parties' demand for equal treatment." Maricopa County Recorder Adrian Fontes tweeted his response, "Bring it." Today at a press conference, Fontes says he's not going to stand for the lawsuit.
Unfortunately, there are some people who don't want me to be able to help those voters cure any mismatched signatures.
As of 11 a.m., Fontes says there were 5,600 ballots in Maricopa County that had signature issues.
But the ones who, under the old process, would have been allowed to but came a little later, they can't cure their ballots. That seems like a very unusual response.
The Democratic Party tweeted, "The Republican Party is doing everything it can to silence the thousands of Arizonans who already cast their ballots. That's absolutely wrong, and the Arizona Democratic Party is fully prepared to fight to ensure that every last Arizonan has their vote counted." A hearing is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon. In the broadcast center, Holly Bernstein, Cronkite News.
The just-ended elections were remarkable for a number of reasons. Besides being bitterly fought, they saw high voter turnout, record numbers of female candidates, and a number of electoral firsts. But as anyone who turned on a TV in the past few months probably knows, they were record-setting for another reason. Cronkite News reporter Ian Solomon has details from our Washington bureau.
My brother and I endorse Dr. Brill.
Dr. Brill.
Dr. Brill.
If you felt bombarded by political ads like these in this election season, there's a reason for that. 129 million reasons, in fact.
That's the amount of money spent in Arizona on political ads. The $129 million set a new record in Arizona, which endured more than 40,000 political ads last month alone.
It was part of a record $3 billion spent on cable and broadcast election advertisements nationwide in 2018, an amount that campaign media calls absolutely unprecedented for a midterm. It has shattered every record there is, and that kind of spending rivals previous presidential cycles. Elaine Camark of Brookings Institute says it's all part of the game.
There'll be a lot of ways to try and talk to voters. And frankly, as long as it's pretty even between the two parties, that's a good thing.
By that measure, it is a good thing, as spending between parties nationwide only differed 2%, with Democrats having the slight edge. Camark says we can expect to see more spending like this in the future.
Money always goes up. It always has gone up, right? I mean, so we're seeing more spending on television, but we're also seeing internet ads. Lots of drive time radio. Drive time radio has.
With midterms in the rearview mirror, voters can look forward to seeing more toothpaste and deodorant ads, but they should be prepared to see that same level of ad saturation in the 2020 elections. In Washington, Ian Solomon, Cronkite News.
Experts say that much of the spending in Arizona went for that still too close to call U.S. Senate race, with $25 million being spent on that race in just the last month alone.
A federal appeals court upheld a ruling today blocking the Trump administration from ending DACA, the Obama-era program that protects young, undocumented immigrants who came to the United States as children from being deported. The ruling from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals means a nationwide injunction allowing the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program to continue will remain in effect. The Trump administration has already asked the Supreme Court to review the injunction. Meanwhile, we spoke with one local DACA advocate today who says the court's decision is a step in the right direction.
We have to remind ourselves that what is happening right now is not a legal battle, but a moral battle that is happening with our country. And this decision is a victory for dreamers because this reinstates what we already know, that DACA recipients belong in this nation, that we are a fundamental integration and individuals that have a lot to contribute.
Lawsuits by California and others challenging the Trump administration decision will continue in federal court while the injunction remains in place.
Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has been hospitalized following her fall that fractured 3 of her ribs. Ginsburg is the oldest justice at 85 years old. She missed the induction ceremony for newly appointed Justice Brett Kavanaugh, which took place this morning.
President Donald Trump asked for Attorney General Jeff Sessions to resign, then replaced him with Sessions' Chief of Staff, Matthew Whitaker. The decision was met with some critics claiming the appointment of Whitaker is unconstitutional since he was not confirmed by the Senate. The White House says Sessions' next exit is not a constitutional crisis.
12 people were killed last night at a Southern California bar, one of which was Sergeant Ron Healis, who responded to the call. The bar was holding a weekly country music dance night that attracts college students around the area. The shooter has been identified as 28-year-old Ian David Long and is reportedly dead. Police say Long forced himself into the Borderline Bar and Grill in Thousand Oaks, California late last night. After shooting the bouncer, witnesses say they escaped by using chairs to break windows. More than 100 people were in the bar at the time of the shooting. There is currently no known motive.
Several people lost their lives last night. And so now is a time for community prayers and sympathy, and our thoughts go out to the family. It's my understanding that notifications are still taking place. So last night and today is going to be a very, very difficult day for many, many people.
Flags are being flown at half-staff today in honor of the victims.
Arizona State University police are continuing their active shooter training designed to remind students and officers what to do if the worst happens. I talked to ASU police officer behind these training sessions to find out more. The Arizona State University Police Department holds active shooter trainings along with an informative video about what to do in that situation.
We would like to encourage all of our students, staff, faculty to watch the video to get the main points of run, hide, fight, what their options are in the event of an active shooter or an act of violence happening.
Police officer Becky Garcia says it's crucial to always be aware of your surroundings.
We need to utilize all of our senses at all times. We need to make sure that we know our location, we know our closest exit, that we know who's around us, so we're not just, buried in our technology.
Officer Garcia says it's important to fight for your survival.
if you ever have to, if you find yourself in that situation and you find yourself, you have no choice but to engage because that person's intention are to hurt you, kill you, whatever, you've got to give 100% effort and utilize whatever you have to go home that night.
You can attend ASU PD active shooter training throughout the year. You can sign up on their website.
The Blue Ribbon Award is given to schools that have had high level of student achievement.
Coming up on Cronkite News, 5 Arizona schools received the prestigious Blue Ribbon Award.
Plus, athletes who come in close contact with one another are at a high risk for contracting the flu. How these athletes stay healthy for the game, next.
I'm Judy Woodruff, anchor and managing editor of the PBS Newshour. The journalists of tomorrow face a fast-changing media landscape, but quality news remains vitally important to our communities, our country, and our world. At ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, students learn solid, reliable reporting, holding the powerful accountable, and rebuilding the public's trust. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
As journalists at Cronkite News, we report on stories that matter to you by focusing on the local impact. We dig deeper and work tirelessly to keep you informed.
Live in Wickerburg.
Live in Los Angeles.
In Cleveland. In Washington. In Louisville.
From Jerusalem.
Live in Philadelphia. From around the world to right here in Phoenix.
At Cronkite News, we report the facts and stick to the truth.
Arizona schools have been in the spotlight this year, but not always for good reasons. Low pay, large classroom sizes, and teacher vacancies are among the many problems schools in the state face. But there are some bright spots, including the 5 Arizona schools honored today as National Blue Ribbon Schools. Cronkite News reporter Imani Stevens was at the awards ceremony in Washington.
Of the 349 schools recognized as National Blue Ribbon Schools this year, 5 from Arizona made the list, selected for their overall academic excellence or progress in closing achievement gaps. And educators from those schools were quick to share the credit for this achievement.
It takes a community to raise a child, and it definitely takes a community to educate a child. And when all the different parts are working together, it really helps those students to be the best that they can be.
This is the 36th year that the U.S. Department of Education has given out these awards, an honor that has been given to more than 8,800 schools. But each year is special for the winning schools.
We have strong teachers so that we keep building strong students and a stronger country.
And Marcia Kalkman, a teacher at Gilbert Classical Academy, says it's not just the teachers who are receiving this award.
I also couldn't be more proud of the students because truly it's the student effort.
An effort that entire communities take on to continue bringing these awards home to Arizona.
Put our best foot forward and really be champions for kids. I think it makes sense for this to happen right now.
While there are a lot of hot topics in education right now, Abrams says that doesn't affect how teachers act once the school doors open.
And the students enter the building, they are the highest level of professional educators that you can find and are truly dedicated, go above and beyond daily to help each and every student.
And that dedication is what the award recognizes Arizona schools for each year. In Washington, Imani Stevens, Cronkite News.
Since the program started in 1982, there have been 131 National Blue Ribbon Schools recognized in Arizona.
The fall season is upon us, which means flu season is also upon us.
Coming up on Cronkite News.
How athletes are preventing flu season from affecting their sports season next.
It's been a lot warmer this week than it has in the past. We're going to cool off a little bit starting next week. I'll have more after the break.
Millions of people die every year from drinking dirty water. I would never have felt I had the ability to do something without ASU pushing me. We built filtration systems out of local materials with the people. to see those kids drink clean water for the first time. It's the most rewarding feeling that you can ever have. I went to ASU because I wanted to change the world. The thing I never would have expected is how the world would have changed me.
The 2017-18 flu season broke records, hospitalizing 900,000 people. Reporter Ashley Mackey was in Tempe to see how ASU athletics is combating flu season this time around.
It's the start of fall, so while for some that may mean more pumpkin spice lattes or getting a head start on their holiday shopping, for athletes, it's a time to be more aware of their health. According to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, seasonal influenza activity, or flu season, begins around October and November, peaks between December and February, and can last as long as May. With the constant close contact ASU athletes experience on a day-to-day basis, awareness and precautions of the disease are in place, including flu vaccination.
ASU does a really good job of making flu vaccinations available for everyone, whether it's staff, regular students, and we're no different. So we make it available for all the student athletes.
Although the CDC identifies annual vaccinations as the best way to prevent flu, ASU Athletics does not mandate the shot for its students or staff. Instead, they offer alternative precautions.
Other things like he offers vitamin C or healthy food habits or sleeping habits. And if he's not available to talk to, there's also other doctors and trainers who are willing at any time.
And it seems like some prevention tips are already sinking in with the athletes.
A lot of times we try to not share water bottles or not share food or forks, spoons, utensils, because that causes a lot of germs to be spread. We have a couple of people called germaphobes on our team who don't let that happen ever.
The 2017-18 season was the first season to be classified by the CDC as a high severity across all age groups, something that coaches at ASU took notice of.
I think you should be doing everything you can to prevent and stay safe and stay healthy. You know, especially right now that we are in the middle of the season. We don't want anybody sick. We don't want, we want the whole team healthy.
McCarty says there's things they can't control, like needing to all come to the same place every day, but they're working to manage what they can. In Tempe, Ashley Mackey, Cronkite News.
With only about a month into this flu season, the Arizona Department of Health Services has already confirmed more than 170 cases.
For the second year in a row, the Waste Management Phoenix Open has been recognized for its sustainability efforts, winning certified tournament status from the Scotland-based GEO Foundation. The Open followed the terms of GEO's Voluntary Sustainable Golf Tournament standard. Some of the achievements include a 100% landfill diversion rate through recycling and composting, the restoration of 75 million gallons of water to the Verde River, and the capture of more than 6,000 gallons of gray water from kitchens across the course and bars on the 16th hole. We talked to GEO's founder and executive director, Jonathan Smith, in Scotland over the summer.
It's in the brand of the tournament now very, very strongly. And then they go down into detail in staging, the supply chain, they really look at that. It's in the communications and spectator engagement very strongly. And it's in what we would call outreach and legacies. So after the final putt is holed, there are still social and environmental activities going on that the Phoenix Waste Management Open has left behind.
Smith pointed to what he called the tournament's comprehensive approach to sustainability as a model for all other golf tournaments.
Well, Sammy, we've seen beautiful weather here in the Valley these past couple of days.
And it definitely seems to be warming up. Let's check in with Micah Bledsoe in the Weather Center to see what we can expect this weekend. Micah?
It has been warming up. It's been beautiful all week. It's been sunny and dry. Those temperatures have warmed up this week, like I said, but we are expecting some cooler temperatures over the weekend. Let's look at our day planner. Today, by 6 o'clock, we'll reach 76, and by 10 p.m., 68. So it'll be a little bit cooler than what we're experiencing right now. Let's take a look at the regional view of what temperatures people are experiencing right now across the country. In San Francisco, 68. It's a beautiful day. Here in Phoenix, 80 degrees, but up in Flagstaff, it's a bit more cooler at 43. Our highs for tomorrow are going to be excellent. It's going to be warm, but don't worry, we're going to lower off in temperatures tomorrow as well. We're going to experience some average temperatures in the 50s. So stay tuned for that. Our 7-day forecast is going to show that we are going to warm up a little bit, but then drop back down and experience some 70s and some lows in the 40s. In the Cronkite Weather Center, Micah Bledsoe.
The freshman football team at Brophy High School in Phoenix had a successful season.
But coming up on Cronkite News, it's the story of one of its players that has the team, community, and sports fans nationwide rallying behind him.
If you're looking for one show that tells you what happened that day in the world of business, it's NBR.
We saw a classic shipwreck.
Nordstrom's opening stores.
Triple-digit gains.
Crude climbs.
We're there to help our audience find new investment ideas.
The market still has room to go up.
Nightly Business Report is the longest-running business television program in history.
Weeknights at 10:30 on Arizona PBS.
I'm Matt Berry, ESPN Sports Center anchor and graduate of ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. With its bachelor's and master's degrees in sports journalism, the Cronkite School is preparing the next generation of sports journalists to tell stories that matter, stories that excite, inspire, and inform. Cronkite immerses students in covering sports at all levels in one of the country's top sports markets. It's this hands-on experience under the guidance of award-winning sports media veterans that shape the top journalists of tomorrow.
By the year 2050, there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. Before Professor Halden, I had an insane amount of passion, but I almost felt helpless because I didn't know how to use it. Professor Halden gave me a chance to make a difference. Being at a place like ASU allows you to take these big leaps. Ultimately, the biggest problems in the world cannot be solved alone.
The freshman football team at most high schools often don't get a lot of time in the spotlight.
But reporter Matt Lively has been on the sidelines, tracking one young player making an impact.
14-year-old Adonis Watt has spent most of his life turning heads. Now he's a freshman at Brophy High School, and he's turning more heads than ever before. But this time, it's on the football field.
Football is a game of sight, a game of sound.
I've been playing it almost 10 years now. I've been playing football before I was blind.
Without his eyesight since age 5, Adonis plays the game by listening for his defenders. His hearing is vital to his game. A game number 48 hopes to play well past high school.
Right now I'm about 14, going to the NFL, so probably about 22 more years.
Adonis lost his vision suddenly one summer day while playing with friends. He was diagnosed with glaucoma, a condition that damages optic nerves and can lead to blindness.
For that first year, he had 11 surgeries, and age 6 was when he said, "Mom, I don't want any more surgery because I'm not broken, and I know you're trying to fix me, but I can see you."
The Watts enrolled Adonis in the elementary education program at the Foundation for Blind Children, where he learned how to read Braille and adapt to his new way of life.
I knew early on Adonis was special. I knew early on that he could do anything. He could go places, and he would be willing to take the opportunities given to him.
Football runs in the Watt family. Both his father and brother played, and the high school freshman wasn't going to be the outlier.
When Adonis went blind, I thought, well, how is he going to win? Because, we win, and so what's up? And he was like, "What do you mean? We're still winning." I'm like, "Okay, show me how, and I'm going to be there." And he's like, "Mom, I got this."
He deserves the playing time that he gets. I think that's the one thing that kind of gets lost in this conversation is it's not, Adonis doesn't get any kind of charity from us in this football team, and neither does he want it.
Adonis is more than just an athlete, serving as a role model for younger kids with vision loss. The high schooler from Chandler has raised money for foundations and even received an invitation to the White House.
I'm probably a voice. They probably consider me that just because all the stuff I've done, all the stuff I'm gonna do.
Adonis is the epitome of vision loss as a diagnosis, not a disability. He's never let his vision loss stop him from doing anything.
Adonis trains hard to succeed, working out with a personal trainer every weekend.
He has fire. He has great will. He is really trying to change his life, but in the process, he's also changing other people's lives.
Where did the bullets go?
Top or bottom, doesn't matter. Just like on the football field, the 14-year-old doesn't get special treatment at home either.
You know, he gets up, he makes his bowl of cereal just like all my other kids, you know. He does his own thing. He's not going to be 40 years old living in my house asking me for gas money.
You're not protecting them over their lifetime if you're not letting them learn and letting them do things that other kids are doing.
For Adonis, the biggest of those things is football. It is through the sport that he loves so much that he hopes to impact so many.
He's that little bit, that little something special that brings teams together that you always hope for.
And his message to other kids who are blind is simple.
Look at what I'm doing. Why can't you just same? Just do you.
With 3 more years to play at Brophy and a lifetime ahead of him, this surely won't be the last time you hear the name Adonis Watt.
Adonis appeared in every single game during his freshman season and even rushed for 3 touchdowns. Next year, he plans on junior varsity. Matt Lively, Cronkite News.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, we'll look at the latest updates to ISM Raceway in West Phoenix and look at the small city that sprouts up outside the track for NASCAR and other racing events. It's next Arizona Horizon.
I'm Judy Woodruff on the next NewsHour with dozens of new lawmakers coming to Washington. How will things change? We'll take a closer look. That's Thursday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.